So for them, whoever gets in definitely will do their bidding. And that has always been how society evolves. So in the society, there will be the richest, the bourgeoisie, that will always get a lot of things to them because they can play the intricacies of politics. It happens across board, it happens everywhere. For these people, it's about them, and it's about them alone. They hold the levers of society, they have wealth, they are the billionaires of this world, and they have a lot of wealth. For these people, it's a very small, you know, society. In fact, if we have in a country that is poor, over the years that our leaders have made poor, like Nigeria, if you have close to 100,000 of these people, in fact, you can't even have 100,000 of these people. The super rich, I'm saying, they are the trillionaires. I'm sure you know there's some people that are trillionaires. When you check their valuation in dollar terms, like extrapolate it in maritime, they're trillionaires. And the billionaires, you can't even have a lot of them in this country because the statistics says that over just 136,000 Nigerians in 2022, I was seeing the statistics via AI, that just over 136,000 Nigerians have over $1 million in their bank account. So just over 36 million. Over 136,000 Nigerians have over $1 million. That's about 1.6 billion in the bank accounts. So they are the high up there. Which people fall in these categories? A lot of the politicians that have stolen money. These are the politicians that have stolen money, and they will tell you that poverty is a virtue. They've stolen a lot of resources. And these are the people, these are the politicians that tell you that, oh, don't worry, once you join parties, your sins are forgiven. These are the politicians that will tell you that, don't worry, they are working for Nigeria's gain. But they are super rich, their lives are better, their children are better. Everything around them are better. For them, they don't care about the common man. The common man that can afford 1,000 naira. For them, as long as their lives are better, they don't care about you. They say they empathize with you. They do some charity, but most of them, for them, it's about how they can amass. So they have homes everywhere. Some of them still try to get the goodwill of people through charity. But for them, they have the economic power, while the other people do not have it. So like I was saying, if in a population of over 230 million, we just have about 136,000 people as of 2022, and I'm sure that number will have dropped because of the 2022 we have not devalued the currency. So you see all sorts of going on. How do these people, a lot of them make their money? They make their money by rent seeking. As long as you're close to the government of the day, you say things to favor them, you can get heavy contracts, you can get all of that. So they favor you with contracts, you get your way, you become highly successful. So these people hold the levers of the society, and they run it the way they want to run it. Some of them are businessmen, some of them are in the political category, some of them are in the resource category. The part of these people that truly, genuinely and industrialists work hard and make their money are very few in a rent-seeking economy like this. But let me tell you something. With the political class and all of these classes, people that speak truth to power, they will never like them. They will arrest them. They will try to undermine them. They will do all sorts to them. So they will always undermine them. And what would they do? They will try as much as possible to pay those in the lower cadre to be able to undermine them. So those that are surrogates and all of that will never be as financially equipped as the big man of them. The first thing they will try to do is they'll try to arrest people that challenge their thoughts. and speak truth to power. Secondly, they'll try to tarnish their image. They'll try to say all sorts of things against them. They'll cook up stories, they'll say all sorts against them. So these are the things they try to do. And the problem is, as long as these people stay true and speak truth to power, they'll never like it, because the more these people keep speaking, the more they feel that their chances of getting benefits and wealth is very limited. So what they do is they try as much as possible to attack these people. They'll come, they'll say all sorts. They'll say all sorts of associated things, they'll blackmail. They'll arrest. And that's why Henry Thoreau did say, the only place for a truth sayer or for a patriot in a country where, and I'm just paraphrasing, in a country where there's no accountability, is the prison. Because there's no how they will always try as much as possible to put these patriots in the prison. They would arrest them. As long as you say things that are contrary to them, they'll arrest you. They'll do all sorts. And you might have seen a lot of people that might have suffered this fate. They'll tarnish the image, they'll blackmail, they'll say all sorts. But for truth sayers, all you just need to do is to be steadfast. It is not every Tom, Dick, and Harry you listen to, because those things are meant to be distractions. A lot of those things are meant to be able to pull you and derail you. But the truth is, you know that the quest you have is of a country of a lot of purpose and possibility. You know the truth you have in you is for things to be a whole lot better for the common man. So you see the workings of the same people that you're fighting for that are trying to bring you down because they've connected peanuts from the powers that be. And you know the evidence is quite clear. But the truth is, you'll see it. So no matter what they do, it's all a game. And that's why you see that even the fight against corruption is all a game. 1 minute they're on the heels of somebody, the next minute it's all gone. And what they do is that they'll make a lot of noise. And use also media. And also because there's now more liberation in terms of media with social media. It's an easy one for them to be able to malign and all of that. So you see a lot of that activity going on. Definitely. And it's not today. It started. You know, when the likes of this incumbent president was fighting, against the military government then, there was a lot that happened then. There was a lot of propaganda by the military government. There were some people that were given the charge that they set up newspaper outfits just to be able to condemn June 12th. So the fact that you have a lot of people that are fighting those that are speaking for the society and saying it the way it is shouldn't surprise you. Because it's always happened. That's always the way of the world. That's always the way things will play out. But those that speak up and speak up for accountability and the truth, they will expect prosecution. And the prosecution will be severe. But the truth is, they should never relent, because the joy in the end, after the prosecution and the oppression, is more important. And definitely you'll have heard your name in the annals of history. And most importantly, it will be on record that you did your conscience and you fought for what was right. So the truth is, for truth's sake as a society, be rest assured that you will lose a lot of friends. You will face prosecution. You will face persecution, prosecution and persecution. Because the people that you're saying the truth and the truth is affecting them will fight back. Corruption will fight back. All sorts of things will fight back. They will always say you're not fair enough. So no matter what you do, they will always say you're not fair enough. It's human being for you. You cannot please people. In fact, there's a big song by Alex Otti that says, "Kusogmo to lida, kusiwa to lida, kusono to lida, to lida iloro." So there is nothing you can do. But you see, the vindication is people that disagree with you are not coming around to say the same things you said. And you will see it happen in your lifetime. You will see some vindications happen in your lifetime. You will see some will not happen in your life. Some will happen after long you're gone. But the question is, what did you fight for? Did you fight for your conscience? Was it right what you fought for? And was it fair what you fought for? The first thing they will do is they will try to smile your credibility. They'll say standard, they'll say everything about you. They will say all sorts. So when they say these things, don't get distracted. Because what they want to do is actually they want to get you distracted. When you tell them, let's face the issues, they will bring around distractions to you. When you tell them, let's face the issues, let's talk about this, they'll bring distractions. When you ask them important questions, they'll bring distractions. They'll say all sorts. But for you, it's for you not to be weary in well-doing. And keep on doing what you're doing. So it might take a while, but the truth is out there. I mean, look at the back and forth now we're saying about refineries. When I spoke the truth then, it was a gang up. We even had people arrange protesters to come protest. but we finally discovered that the protesters were, similarly paid to do so. But today, the same people that said, oh, the refinery is good, it's complete, it's this. It is the same institution that is saying that there's problems, we need to investigate what went on. So some will be vindicated, some you might not be, but it should be on record you said your bit. That's just it. So it should be on record that you said your bit. And the first thing they'll do is they'll attack you. Attack your credentials. They'll say all sorts of things. But you've been standing on the truth for over 20 years of your life. You know the records are there. You an analyst on the local BBC station, BBC Bristol, the evidence is there. You're the head of that platform, the local BBC in England. You have co-founded radio stations like this. And people that have never been able to do anything in their lives will tell you all sorts. So what do you do? You look on. I mean, the whole world knows when we started. I was the first voice of EOP. And we co-founded. And I'm a co-founder. And we've run it effectively and become a voice of truth and conscience. And I have a lot of joy when people say, Rufai, BOP is doing a great job. We're not perfect, but we can do a whole lot better. Then we're also bring behind the other verticals in the VOP family. There's also VOP TV Online that is doing quite well. Also the brain behind it. So when you look at all of this and you hear all sorts of distraction from people and you wonder what is going on, but you know. And see, for you, it might not be on a national scale you will face this persecution. It might be in your company. It might be in your love for Christ. It might be your Christian work or your Christian journey. Whatever it is, all I just want to tell you is that you gotta stand firm. You have to be firm because they will come at you. As long as you have a thought process to bring sanity to society, they will come at you. People will say all sorts. They'll fight you. They'll never believe. There'll be many sides. There's a side of the truth and there's a side of hate. There's a side of the truth, there's a side of lies. When you say the economy of the country is not getting better, they'll take it personal. But it's not getting better. I was in DC. I was in DC and I saw things for myself when the projections came out. I was in the panel session in DC where they say, oh, journalists don't ask questions. But the truth has to be said. They were saying the Trump tariffs were not going to affect it. What about the 2 trillion of agricultural tariff that man complained about? So if you have a contrary view, they attack you. But the truth is, it is God in heaven that daily loads you with benefit when you stand for the truth. And some things you will always stand. When we say insecurity is not improving, look at what happened yesterday. And I just want to celebrate our valiant soldiers and say my condolences to those that lost, the soldiers that lost their lives. In Yobe, attacks by terrorists on the barracks of soldiers. Another sad one. It's a sad one for our country. A very sad one. But our soldiers are fighting day and night. So when we see President Tinubu, people are dying in the country. We just lost soldiers. What are you doing about it? The next thing they attack you. And say, no, you don't have to say that. But it's not the truth. When people not dying. When we came out to say that it was blending they were doing in the refinery, that they didn't have a catalytic converter to crack naphtha and all of that and turn it into petrol directly, that they had to blend. At first, they said we're not correct, but they came out to admit it. And we said, oh, things are not as well with the refinery. They said, no, it's all lies. And guess what happened? They used journalists to also go justify that things were working then. But why we also know, because we had insiders in there that was telling us it's contrary to what was being reported. So if we choose not to be used, if we choose to see facts, and some other journalists choose to see otherwise, we'll keep choosing to see the facts we see. Am I perfect? No. But all we've just decided to do is to stand for something. It's the same journalists that were flown to the venue to report that everything was working. But months down the line, what you spend over 1.4 billion on, what you spend over 800 million on, what you spend about like $4-5 billion on, it's not still working. But we can see the other refinery in Lagos, the Dangote refinery, churning out products by the day, can reduce prices. And when we said it that they were still importing, they said, oh, we're lying. In the end, is what justifies the means. In the end, is what justifies the means. In fact, I remember how somebody fought me when I said the administration is not doing well. And you see, what they fail to realize is I want this government, if this government succeeds, I'll be very happy. Because it will lift a lot of burden off us. You get? So if this government succeeds, I'm very happy. Remember how somebody fought me when I say this government has failed, the economy is tanking. Today, the same person is saying that today. But he called me names the other day. And when I retorted, the first thing they also tell you is you're rude. So people will insult you and say all sorts to you. And when you respond, they'll be the first to tell you you're rude. And when you go around and give a fair balance, they'll say, oh, it's not hard enough because it doesn't favor them. But in all of this, what do you do? The Bible says, for the goal that was set up above, Christ endured the cross. So it's a cross we carry. It's not an easy one. We carry for society to be a lot better. But for the goal that is set up above of a greater country, that God promised me that I'm doing my own little bit, and that's why I have the Oseni Center, library, albeit in my village. God sees me if I have the funds. I would like to build that center in as much areas of the country. But guess what? Since I don't have the funds, we're also partnering with the likes of Icon of Hope to do a lot of things in prisons and some parts of the north. We're also helping as much as possible. With every part of the country, supporting co-charity. Somebody yesterday sent me a message that, oh, he's passionate about having a pediatric cancer center. I'm like, okay, go ahead. I'll publicize it. Also using our platform for a lot of good, helping people. I will keep doing that. So we need to stand in the vanguard of the truth. And, you know, I've been seeing a lot of this message about free VDN. The questions we should ask is, why will somebody go to the bank with his mother because of charges and they will put him in a corner against his rights, detain him, then get EFCC to come arrest him? Until dates, we've not heard anything, any message. And that's the question. And that's the question I'm asking EFCC to take. What is going on? Because I've also spoken for EFCC and they appreciate my work. They appreciate my work. Even to the high echelons of EFCC, I've said, Rufai, thank you so much for what people like you do. They appreciate my work. But we just want to ask those questions. And the EFCC should be able to give us. We can't have a country where things just happen like that and we can't ask questions and answer questions. So we'd like them to tell us more. What is going on? And please, you can't hold a man against his rights. The Constitution says, charge him to God. 24 hours. So, truth is, we want them to be able to respond to this. We want to hear from them. Because you see, any perceived high handedness, any part of the world, is a threat to injustice everywhere. That's just it. Any perceived high handedness anywhere in the world is a threat to justice everywhere. And that's why we'd like to hear from the EFCC. What is going on? We'd like to hear from them. The truth has to be said. The journey to redeeming a country of purpose is not an easy journey. The journey to making our country a whole lot better is a hard one for those that decide to stand on the path of the truth. It's not an easy one. but we need to keep speaking up. And trust me, I'm not saying we'll be perfect all the time. Where we are not perfect, we'll make amends in the face of higher evidence and information. But the truth is, we need to ask questions. We need to ask questions. And if we don't ask those questions, we don't go anywhere. I'll take a couple of calls this Sunday morning. We are still reaching out to people that want to do a lot in business, you know. And okay, let us do that this next week. 0818 099 1991. 0818 099 1991. The numbers to call us up. And we are still reaching out to a lot of people that want to do business. Okay, let's also take one or two of them that have business needs. 0818 099 1991. The phone lines to call us up this morning. Don't forget 17th. By grace of God, we should be able to have our debates. It will be broadcasted live across our channels here. And we'll take it on. 0818 099 1991. That's the phone line to call us up. 0818 099 1991. We're expecting to get your calls. Yeah, you said call the number again. 0818 099 1991. So we're expecting to take your calls today. And we'll talk about these things. And we also, give out a chance for people that are in business that want to get a lot done in their lives. And we'll see how we can empower people. Because if we also empower people, then we can do a whole lot better for them. Because empowerment is key. So we'll be waiting on your calls. And from those in the diaspora, I think you can call that number. Okay, we got calls in already. Hello, how are you? Hello? Oh, hello? Morning, what's your name?
Yeah, I'm Wisdom, calling from Lagos. Yes.
Yeah, Wisdom, go ahead. Talk to me.
Sir, I have a Toyota Camry that I use, but I want to sell it so that I can go into Uber.
Hello, Wisdom? We lost that. If you want to sell your Toyota Camry, I think go ahead. I don't know, but that's your decision. I'm not here to help you sell cars. I'm just here for looking at people also that have business needs because it's about platforming. And I've seen people get on and get ahead with their business uh, as regards platforming and all of that. Hello, how are you?
Hello?
Yeah, bless you. Hello, hello. Oh, we lost that. I think something's wrong with the phone lines. Right, 0818 099 1991. 0818 099 1991. 0818 099 1991. So call us up on the phone lines. And then we have a replay of the famous interview I had this week with the governor of Abia. I played in 10 o'clock hour, so you can listen to that again. Hello, how are you? Hello.
Hello?
Yeah.
Hello?
Hello, how are you? Hello. Hello. 0818 099 1991. 0818 099 1991. 0818 099 1991. I think the phone lines are having a problem. Hello, how are you?
Hello, good morning. My name is Sam.
Morning. Where are you calling from, Sam? I think there's something wrong with the phone lines today. A lot of calls are coming in, but we've not been able to be successful with any one of them. 0818 099 1991. 0818 099 1991. So, hello? Yep. What's your name?
Yeah,
Where are you calling from?
guys,
Okay, go ahead.
I'm into nutrition and health conditioning work.
Okay.
I repair and fix health conditioning, both domestic and industrial.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I'm calling. If I have any opportunity that
Okay. Your number, what's your number?
081
Yeah.
21
Yeah.
61
Yeah.
75
Yeah.
99.
Yeah. Hello.
Hello, my brother. Good
Good
morning.
to have you. How are you?
I'm Jim on the line.
Man, Jem, how's it going? Thank you so much for all the work you do with us in Abuja.
That was the journey.
Stressful. I'm still very stressed. It's no joke. It's a very busy year.
Where you are.
Yeah. Yeah.
God bless you, my brother. With
Yeah.
your job done, with the Lord continue to empower you.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, thank you for the homily of today. You have given the quest of enlightenment and progress into place.
Yeah.
Yeah, next week Sunday we'll be going to a prison that is in Guagualada.
Okay.
We want to share Bible and some trust to the image.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
Thank you. It's began to compete to the general public, especially your friends and family and partners on the economy. Because there is an information that got across to me that there are some inmates there that are under the option of fine. The image which I was told is 2 to 10 months of Yamari was sentenced for 2 years imprisonment with an option of fine of 40,000 naira. There were 4 of them like that. And there was one again like
Okay, so because of 40,000 naira, he's been in prison for how many years?
2 years, 2 years.
2 years. Wow. So can we see if we can raise the money to release him out of the prison? Call your account number. Also send me a details so I can post on my Facebook. All right.
Okay, sir.
Yeah.
So because you have 4 of them like that, this farm center, let's just explain, is a farm center they call it place to farm center. They are just they cannot be made to work
Yeah.
for farming and others. So they have majority of them as option of fine that some of them stole chicken, some used there was one that stole a couple of things. So many of them just want to see how we can reach out to pay their fine and by the grace of God.
Okay, so what we're trying to do is I do a lot of work with with Icon of Hope Foundation, with the prisons in Abuja. So we have people that if we can get their fines, they will get released from prison. So can you call the account number and also send me the details so I can post it up there and write a little thing about so I can post it on the platform. Let's see if we can get them out of prison. So call the account number. You never know who's listening here.
Okay, 00
Yeah,
34
yeah,
21
yeah,
53
yeah.
5
What bank is it? Unity Bank, right? Okay, so just send me the details. The people that we want to get released from prison with the option of fine. Send it to me via, WhatsApp text that I'll amplify. Thank you. Hello, how are you?
I'm fine, sir. Good morning, sir.
Morning, yeah.
Um, my name is Rufai. I'm calling from Asaka.
Okay, great to have you from us.
Hello.
I'm with you. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm calling from Asaka.
Yeah. Okay. A lot of calls coming in. Hello, how are you? Hello.
Hello, am I beyond the Boy?
Yes. Who is this? What's your name? Where are you calling from?
My name is Bakari Adekune from Ikorodu.
Go ahead. Talk to me.
I always like the way you speak. You always speak to the truth.
Talk the praise. I don't take any glory for that. I give God all the glory.
I used to watch you on Arise TV, and I like when you speak.
God be praised for that. God takes all the glory.
I
Not me.
always like when you speak. I look to follow you later.
God be praised. Thank you. I appreciate you. Hello, how are you?
Good morning, sir.
Morning. How's it going? What's your name? Where are you calling from?
I am Israel calling from Ogun State. Okay.
Okay, go ahead. Talk to us.
I've been to electrical installations and
Okay. Okay. So you need support for your business? Call your number out on the air.
081
Yeah.
30
Yeah.
38
Yeah.
57
Yeah.
18
Okay. Okay.
04.
Good. Thank you so much. Hello, how are you?
Hello. Sorry, my network not so good.
What?
Hello. My connection not so good.
Your connection not too good? Hello?
Hello, Mr. Lucas.
Yeah, what's your name?
Okay.
Can you speak up? I can't hear you very well. Can you speak up?
Endurance. I'm calling you for either of the Jacob Lagos.
Ejegu, okay, go ahead, Endurance.
I know this. I have a school. And secondly, I also run a cooperative. And I'm a conference now by profession.
You have a school, you run a cooperative.
I can hear you.
You say you have a school and you run a cooperative, right?
Yes. Yeah, I already have a property in school, but I'm not, but I need a solution.
Okay. Okay. So you want support, right? You want partners in your business, right?
Yes.
Hope it's verifiable. Or hope you're not going to trick anybody. Hope you're not going to trick anybody. Hope it's verifiable.
And it's something that you can come over to, if you have anybody to check on the facts, then I can.
Okay.
It's not about the.
Okay. So give out your number. You might be able to get partners here.
080
Yeah.
74
Yes.
532.
Yes. Okay. Okay. Hello, how are you?
Good morning.
Morning. Bless you. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Where? Oshodi, okay. What's your name? Ahmad Boke Jacob. Okay, go ahead.
I came to Lagos and I find this opportunity to learn your voice already for the first time.
Oh, that's good.
So I want to ask you, are you doing any other online program like this in another station or you are only on this station?
Yes, so I do this on VOP and across all my channels. So I do this on VOP radio, on Sunday mornings like
Okay.
this. Then maybe once in a while, but maybe as time goes on, we'll syndicate on many other stations around Lagos. We just want to populate the radio in Lagos with a lot of goodwill and good energy. That's just all we want to do.
Okay, and another thing, sir. I don't know. Maybe found someone to help me. Because I left my state just last week. I've graduated since 2019. So it is hard to get job, and I'm trying to learn cyber security. But I don't, I find it difficult to learn the word financially. So I don't know if that can
Cybersecurity.
help
Go
me.
Google Alt School. In fact, I'm trying to do a partnership with them now. Google Alt School, Alt ALT School. There's this very friend of mine. He's got a powerful story too. Promoted him a lot over 10 years ago when I was on the radio, and he's doing this old school where people can learn tech skills. I've done a lot of partnership with him in the past. Yeah, ALT School. So Google it and see what's up there, and probably maybe if the partnership comes around, we can see how we can look for scholarships. For many other people too that want to do it.
Okay,
Yeah. So there's something called Alt School. Yeah. Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. Thanks.
Thank you, sir.
So I mean, these are some of the things we do, and especially when you've had longevity, when you've done this business for over 20 years, there are many people that go through you, and you've seen how they've grown and done well. I mean, one of them is the current commissioner of transports in Enugu State, Obiozo, and that's why I went to see him the other day. Obiozo passed through my show. We had given him an exclusive of my show when he was running Cover 360 then, and he's gone ahead to be commissioner of transport, in Enugu State. Adewale Yusuf is another one. Started Tech Points, gave him a lot of support. Gave him a lot of interviews then on my show. Powerful story. Adewale's story is very powerful. Today he's doing old school, but Adewale then, when he came to Lagos, had to sleep under the bridge, to be able to get by. But today he's built one of the biggest technology news website across Africa. It's done well, and I'm still partnering with him. And there's still a lot that is being done. So it's as much as partnering with businesses and doing well. And maybe one of these, even as they have the interview from the archives, we can even play it back one of these days. To hear Obiozo back in the days, then telling his story. That's close like 10 years ago, and we've helped impact a lot of people, and that's the impact that we put on the air. I've not just had the time. There's a segment I used to do to impact lives for the daily when I was on radio. I'm also thinking of probably bringing it back across the media platforms, but there's so much. I'm traveling, chasing interviews with makers of policies across countries and all of that. And there's another series I did. That's what I was up there doing in Washington. I've done two already. Remains one. Probably when it finally breaks, we should be able to share it across board. You should be able to see it. But those will be the candidates of the African Development Bank. I've interviewed Sam Mambo of Zambia for the presidency of the African Development Bank. I've interviewed Sam Mambo from Zambia. I've also interviewed Twasi Shabalala, the South African candidates, remains about the hot. So these are powerful insights and great insights that we're bringing across. But hello, how are you?
Good morning, sir.
Bless you. What's your name?
My name is sir.
Huh? Gift, where are you calling from?
Yes, I'm calling from Ikotu.
Go ahead, Gift. What is going on with you?
First way Ikotu.
Yes, what is wrong with you? Go ahead.
I'm the one that called 3 Sundays ago.
Okay.
So he said that somebody was texting. So and somebody called me that he had sent my card number.
Okay.
So I sent my card number. I don't hear from the person.
Hopefully, maybe they don't have the resource yet, but somebody will do something for you. Let's call your number out again. Your number is 070. What's your number? Call your number out again.
070
Yes. Yeah.
40
Yeah.
5031.
Okay. You never know. Somebody's listening and somebody will.
I'm the one that wants to do that restaurant.
Yeah. Probably somebody's listening and they'll act on it. You never know. It's going to be well.
On the total is 200,000.
It is going to be well. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Please, once you call people and you want to do something for them, just go ahead and do it and empower them as much as you can. Hello, how are you?
Good morning.
Great to have you. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
My name is Happiness. I'm calling from Masaba, Delta State.
Good to have you. Saba people. How are you?
I'm fine. Sorry, I just needed some.
Huh?
Yeah. I don't know. I needed some capital to start a business. Yes, I had
So what kind of business do you want to start?
this soft drinks, mineral,
You,
freezer,
you want to start a business. So are you would you want to give people equity in the business based on what they give you, or you want to pay them back? You want debts? Which one do you want?
and for now, I can't even assure for getting back for now. I just needed something to start up with to see how it grow to then I could get other people.
Okay, so what's the capital involved?
I'm looking at least 2 to 3 million.
3 million naira. Okay, go ahead. Put your number out there. You never know. Anybody might be interested.
Okay, my account number is split one.
No. Put your own phone number. Let them talk to you first.
My phone number is 081
Yeah.
08101 577 834.
Okay. Thank you. You never know. Anybody might be listening. Might be interested. Hello, how are you? Bless you. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
My name is John. I'm calling you from.
Well, I got John. They're hitting something there. Quack, 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 quack. Hello.
Yeah,
Yeah.
my name is John. I'm calling you from.
Okay. Go ahead.
I'm a regular listener of this your program,
Thank you.
and I've listened to the way you have been reaching out to people that are in it. The restaurant business, I can speak to you too much of bills. I cannot be able to afford this to continue with the business. So I'm still managing, but I can't afford the business anyway. So that is the obstacle.
So you need investors in your restaurant business in Mafaluku.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Go ahead. Call your number out. You never know.
Huh?
Call your number out. You never know.
Okay, sir. My number is 091
Yeah.
32
Yeah.
63
Yeah.
43
Yeah.
8185.
Okay. Good stuff. Hello.
Hello, good morning, sir.
What's your name? Where you calling from?
I'm Wisdom calling from Lagos, sir.
Lagos is a very big place. Oh.
Okay. Around the boundary area.
You got to go ahead.
Sir, please, I want to go into Uber business. I have a Toyota that I want to sell, but I need help. I don't know, maybe like 3 months.
Wisdom, I can't help you sell your car. Sell your car by yourself now. Go to your
Sir,
business.
what I mean is that I will sell the car, then I need help so that I'm able to add money to it to get the car to start the Uber business. Sir. That is why I'm calling, sir. I need support, sir. I will send you
Okay, so go ahead. Call your number out. Yeah,
69
yeah,
double four
yeah,
83
yeah,
56.
yeah. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. It's going to be well. Somebody sent a message. Bless you for your work. Community Issues NGO, Umuhi Shaw Trust Foundation, which is I need to execute guidance to execute the secondary school WIAC hall. We want to build on our 10th year anniversary, December 29th. Here's my phone number. Well, I'm sorry, I'm swamped. I don't have time. I'm also running uh, health outreach center I built. I'm also running a library I built. So I'm swamped. But in terms of that, what you need to do, let me just give the advice generally. You need to do a raise. You could do a launching, you could do a fundraiser and everything. You could do a charity fundraiser and get, to people and all of that. Uh, if you get it, yes. If you don't get it, keep trying. I had to take all my resources I'd saved over the years to be able to build the health care center, the health outreach center, and the library I did in the village. So it's just about you reaching out as much as possible, and I pray God will help you. Hello, how are you?
Yeah, good morning, my favorite journalist.
Morning. What's your name? Where are you calling from, sir?
My name is Shimono, calling from Sherry.
Good to have you. Go ahead. Talk to me.
Yeah, this is my first time calling in your show. I love your show so much.
Thank you. Bless you.
Right. So, Rufai Oseni, I know that Nigeria, you have been following up and you have been giving us a lot of updates. We really appreciate it. God will continue to guide and protect you in Jesus' name. Rufai Oseni, I have a company that I'm registered company and we're into I am the owner of the business. Not for parties, for events generally. So that's why I'm calling on your show. I've been trying to call all this while, but it's not been connecting.
You run a catering business. You need gigs. Call out your number. Call out your number. You never know who might be listening.
Resources limited. So we are into catering services, event planning and all that.
Call out your number. Call out your number right away.
Event generally.
Call out your number.
Okay, 081
Yeah.
666
Yeah.
81
Yeah. Thank you. Good. Bless you.
908.
Thank you. All right. Hello, how are you? Great to have you. Morning, what's your name? Where you calling from?
My name is Lucky. I'm calling from Solo.
Yeah.
It's a, since when I did my secondary school, I wrote jam and I got the 170, but it's fun to run with the school is the problem. I try. I work, but it's still, as a young can see, it's not even enough to sponsor this like this. I don't. So I call maybe anybody can just help
What's
me.
someone to sponsor you? What school do you want to go to?
I want to go to Kashere.
Where in Kogi State?
I've forgotten them around from the state around the Kashere.
So you've forgotten the name of the school you want to go to in Gombe State?
It's Kashere, sir. Kashere. They call it
Tashere, what?
Kashere. Yes, sir.
Okay, go and think of the name of the school properly and get your facts right before you call back. Hmm?
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah. So that's about all we've got here. We'll play back the interview right about now. So it's about over an hour long. So it's a full or redacted version of the interview. Thank you guys so much. As you go this week, I pray God will bless you, make his face and favor shine over you, and then give you peace on every side. It is well with you. In Jesus' name. Amen. Welcome to another interview session with Governor Alex Otti of Abia. He leads a state called God's Own State. And it's a state of a lot of enterprise when you look at the antecedents of Aba, a sprawling town from its colonial days and a heart and a hub for business in the Southeast region. The big question is, how is Governor Otti going to bring his banking experience to revolutionize this state? The state needs employment, the state needs the basic health and other infrastructure that makes a state worthy of admiration. He's got a lean budget at the same time, so it's a tall order. We'll talk about this. We'll also talk about other issues. The opposition, yes, they're screaming foul all the time he takes a step. We'll see how he meanders through these very turbulent waters of opposition and governing the states. This and many more you can expect in this interview with Governor Alex Otti. Your Excellency, pleasure to have you on the show.
Nice to have you in Abia. Welcome. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well. Thank you very much.
Welcome from Washington. Was it Washington?
Washington, D.C.
Oh, wow.
Thank you so much.
I was watching you on the screen.
Thank you so
Tried
much.
to wave. You didn't respond.
Thank you so much, Your Excellency.
Welcome.
Your Excellency, you got here by the grace of God and your campaign, but most importantly, a very important woman, that great professor at INEC that decided not to compromise. You want to say something about that great woman and state her name extensively, because we live in a country where we don't celebrate heroes.
Yes. Thank you very much. And I want to start by welcoming you once again to Abia. Thank you for the first question, because you are very right. a lot of times we don't celebrate people. And I've had time to actually say good things about her. I didn't know her from Adam, never met her. And when she was selected for that role, that was just like 48, 72 hours before the election. So I was a bit scared because when she was appointed Vice Chancellor of Federal University of Technology, Owerri, I tried to reach out to her because she bears the same surname. She's Otti, Professor Nnennaya Otti. So, and I guess that was 2021. So I got her number, tried to call her, she didn't respond. I sent a text message congratulating her, she didn't also respond. So I just said, okay, I left her. And 2 years later, she was now going to be the returning officer. But then, most importantly, I left everything in the hands of God. And then the election came. If you recall, I've been in this process since 2015. And a particular local government was always used to falsify the results of the election. And that's Obingwa. Again, in 2019, it happened. So 2023, the election, it was clear that I was going to win the election again. And as the results kept trickling in from the different local governments, the tally was increasing. I mean, the difference was increasing. And what they did at that time was just to wait. So at some point when they thought enough local governments had come in, they falsified the results, moved it to 80,000, from there to 90,000, it ended at 108,000. But then this woman rejected those falsified results and said she was going to stick to the results that came from the polling units. And the rest now is history. So we cannot tell the story of the changes that have happened in Abia State, the new Abia, as we call it, without a reference to Professor Nnennaya Otti. We thank God for her, and we know that this was just God's arrangement, because for her to come into the equation, and in fact, the other day that she was giving her daughter in marriage that I attended in Ebonyi State. She, by the way, she is from Ebonyi State. So she was telling me that this was the first time that she was going for an election, that she never participated in elections. So I strongly believe that the hand of God was in the whole process. It was God that brought her. So my tribute to her. Thank you.
And tribute to courage. But those in the opposition still say a lot of things about you. Let me tell you some of the things they say. They say you awarded the most expensive contract in Nigeria, 5-kilometer Port Harcourt Road, Aba, for 32 billion to Julius Berger, chaired by your friend. These are kind of the things they say in the opposition about you. Also hear one of it. They say you abandoned the new government house, that nothing was wrong with it, and we are right here in your village. They also talked about the fact that, you were trying to take glory for the geometric power company, when that, contrary to your public boast, that Aba is not even enjoying 24/7 power supply and the residents. And they also went ahead, to say that you abandoned the multi-specialist hospital that was done by your predecessor. So these are some of the things they say about you. I mean, what do you say to all of these things?
Well, the opposition will find something to say. Even if God was to come down to govern the state, the opposition will have something to say. So I think they are busy looking for things to say. All the issues you've mentioned are non-issues to Abia people. Geometric, of course, I told the story of geometric, and I encountered geometric in my banking days. when Professor Batenaji came to me, a bit frustrated. And this was several years ago. I was executive director in First Bank. I believe that was 2009, 2010. Yeah, just before I left First Bank. And I packaged a facility to help him rescue the geometric project, because the bank, coincidentally, that was funding the project at that time, stopped because of the global economic crisis. And that bank was Diamond Bank, where I had to go 1 year after. And I packaged, if I recall, about $80 million facility. Got the approval, but he couldn't draw because the bank at that time felt that the person that understood the project was leaving, and that was me. And as I left, he came back to me in Diamond Bank. And we sat down and provided all the facilities that he required to complete the project. In fact, we completed the project before I left the bank in 2014. That's one problem after another. I believe that the way God wanted it kept it from taking off until I became the governor.
Licensing issues. Because I also got a chance to, speak to Professor Batenaji,
okay. Licensing issues,
and court cases.
The island, the Aba Island, that was ceded to him by the former president, Obasanjo, now had to be retendered, and somebody else paid for it. So they ended up in court. At some point, I actually brought my former chairman in the bank, Obio Furniture, Igwe Abogidi, Alfred Nemekachebe, to mediate. But it didn't work until I came in 2023. And between 2023 and 2024, I believe January 2024, we were able to solve all the problems, and geometric started.
So you claim glory for the geometric project?
Far from it.
Okay.
I can't claim glory for geometric. A lot of things went into it, but I contributed my little quota to make it happen. And Professor Batenaji and the management of geometric are grateful, provided the enabling environment. I understood the issues. Maybe my predecessor didn't have that kind of understanding that I had, and I don't blame him for that, because I had a relationship with the entire business 10 years before. So, and that experience helped in solving the problem. Talking about whether it's working or it's not working, I don't work for geometric, but I know that I have geometric here. And a lot of times, 22 hours out of 24 hours, I have public power from geometric.
So this is geometric power in this place?
Absolutely.
Okay.
So, but then they are dealing with a few issues. One is the substations. And I think there are about 7 or 9 of them. Costs a lot of money to rehabilitate the substations. And those substations had been left to decay over a very long period of time. Now, with the kind of power coming from the 3 or 4 turbines, I think 3 turbines in geometric, if you put them into those substations, what you see is a blowout. So they have to rehabilitate them, and it costs a lot of money. I think at the last count, they have rehabilitated about 5 of them. And anywhere they rehabilitated the substations, they put power in there, and you have power. In fact, the interesting thing, since we are talking about geometric, is that they have capacity. They have 3 turbines that have capacity to produce 141 megawatts of power. There's provision for a 4th turbine, which I helped them locate in Ghana, and I think they are discussing now how to get. It's a brand new turbine in Ghana. Somebody called me and said, "Oh, we have this turbine. We know geometric may need it. We don't have access to them. Can you please put us in touch with the MD of geometric? We want to sell it because we don't need it. We have never used it." So, and my commissioner for power and public utilities used to work for General Electric. And so I got in touch with him, because some of these things, you know where they are. And he made all the inquiries, and we got in touch with Professor Batenaji, who was excited. So that By the time they finish the discussion, the fourth turbine will be here. And that will increase their capacity to 188 megawatts. Now, a full capacity in between the 9 local governments of the Aba ring-fenced island, we have estimated, and that's geometric now, that the total consumption will not be more than 100 megawatts. Okay, so we will have some 80 to 88 megawatts, which ordinarily should go to the national grid. But what are we doing? We've engaged with Enugu Disco through Emeka for who the owner of Interstate Electric, and we are almost at the point. We've signed an MOU at the point of buying the Umuahia ring fence out of EEDC. What do we intend to do? We intend to wheel the 80 to 88 megawatts excess capacity from geometric into Umuahia. So in the next 1 or 2 years, we can say that we have a constant public supply.
Okay.
Power supply in Abia.
What about the Julius Berger contract, that I talked about, that they said you gave to your friend?
It's a joke. Julius Berger is my friend.
Yeah, they said you gave it to your friend.
These are
some of the things the opposition,
okay, so let me
will always say, and we
so
just...
you know what will happen?
Yeah.
I would like you to go to Port Harcourt Road after this interview. Talk to people. That road had been abandoned for over 30 years. Nobody could fix it, except Julius Berger. And everybody knows. So if you go to Aba and make this allegation, you'll probably not come back.
I'm a journalist. I just ask the questions.
No. So what it is that it's not 5.8 kilometers. It's a dual carriageway. It is something else, and I would like you to just go there. So the allegation of the so-called opposition, because they couldn't fix it. So somebody has come to fix it. And every other person is very happy. And Julius Berger is handing over the project to me next week. And
How much did the project cost?
It has gone beyond the 30 billion.
So how much is it now?
Somewhere about 36.5 billion now. Yeah, that's what it is.
And it's good use of money.
Absolutely. It's one of the most important parts of the Southeast, not just Aba. Okay, so virtually everything is made on Port Harcourt Road. It's a very long stretch of road.
Okay.
I would like you to see.
No, I saw part of it while we were, coming here.
No, you've not gone to Aba.
No, I've not gone to Aba.
Port Harcourt Road is inside Aba, not Aba Port Harcourt Road.
Okay.
There's a Port Harcourt Road in Aba.
Okay.
That takes you from inside town all the way to the expressway.
Okay.
Okay. So, and everybody is happy. Even the opposition is happy.
Okay. What are you doing as regards school?
Okay, you also talked about Government House.
Yeah, Government House, and the Specialist Hospital.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what happened was that my predecessor commissioned an uncompleted building on the 28th of May.
Uncompleted building?
Uncompleted building on the 28th of May. I would also like you to see it. My people will take you to it. So, and it is supposed to be new Government House. So what did he do? He completed the ground floor, finished it very well, put Italian furniture. I don't like to talk about it, but since you asked,
yes.
Put Italian furniture in the place, painted it, and commissioned it. Okay, so the bedroom. So after the inauguration, I went there. When I looked at the ground floor, I was very happy. But as I went to the first and second floor, they were not even plastered. No sanitary fittings, nothing. So that's fraud.
Really?
Yeah.
Are you going to probe him for that?
One dime.
No, are you going to probe your predecessor for that?
You have only 4 years. And when you get into some of these distractive things, you lose focus. I have too much work to do. Probing him is there. Of course, we called in KPMG at some point, and I'm sure you must have seen that, where they looked at one of the accounts, and they found that some 10 billion naira was drawn for a non-existent airport. So that's the only one that we are saying, bring back our money or give us the airport.
But he says he's fixed the airport, that the airport is, that things are working with the airports.
Yeah, it's Audio Airport.
Audio Airport.
We've just flagged off the construction of the Abia Airport. Probing is a waste of my time.
But the question a lot of people ask is, if you have an airport in Owerri, why do you need another Abia airport? That's always the argument. Does it make financial? I mean, you're a financial expert.
It's a good argument.
Does it make financial sense?
It's a good argument. But the truth about it is that when you go elsewhere, you'll find that in a place like Texas, how many airports do you have?
But they have
even in Houston.
No, I mean, I was in Texas. I was in Dallas in what's it called in January. You have the Dallas Fort Worth Airport, which is about the second, third biggest airport in America. Then you have other airports around.
Yes,
but
you have Houston, Hobby.
You have the economic activity to carry it. I just came in from DC. There was Dulles, there was Ronald Reagan, there was Baltimore, Maryland.
We are thinking for the future. But let me tell you.
No, but
let me tell you,
you don't have the funds.
No,
you don't. You're pressed for funds. You still have to borrow money. Why are you building it?
The airport is not mine. It's a federal government project.
Okay.
Okay.
Who's funding it? Federal government?
Federal government. Okay. So let me explain how it happened.
Yeah.
So the federal government came up to say it wanted to build a few airports, I think 4 or 5. And Abia was one of them. Okay? And it was not going to be an airport, it was an airstrip that they planned. So I went and met the president. And I said, Mr. President, the difference between an airport and an airstrip is the wrong way. So if you are going to do an airstrip in Abia, can I partner with you and make it a full-fledged airport? And he said, oh, there's no problem with that. I should go and meet the Honorable Minister for Aviation, Festus Keyamo. And I went and met him, and he didn't have a problem with that. So, and we sat down. You bring your own money. We bring our counterpart fund.
How much are you putting into it?
I'm not sure yet. But our contribution is now the wrong way.
How much is the federal government putting into this?
Not sure yet, too. That's the
work is still going on. So it's still in the ideation stage of the project?
No, we have planned off, but then a lot of work is still going on.
But the money you will put into it, where is it going to come from? You have to borrow. Because the state does not have this, the financial capacity. I know you are in the private sector. You know how to raise capital.
Not just in the private sector.
Yeah, you know how to raise capital.
You are going into my territory.
Yes.
Just leave that area for me. It's my great secret. Money.
I know that you raise money.
Yeah,
safe to call you Ezego in banking. King of raising money in banking.
Yeah.
But it's going to put back a deadline on the states.
Don't worry about that.
And that's what we're scared of, because most states are not viably run.
Let me tell you something. I just saw the numbers from DMO that in 2023, they said we inherited a debt profile of 138 billion. But that's at the end of last year that we reduced it to 66 billion. We've not borrowed one time.
So how did you clear it? How did you not borrow? You were doing projects.
Secrets.
Tell us about it.
No, you have to consult me and pay me some money for me to tell you.
Shall I turn off the cameras for a bit?
No, you pay me first. Okay, so.
But the opposition keeps saying, you are borrowing. That that all of these things you are doing is a borrowing spree.
Did I borrow from them? If I borrowed from a bank, it would be clear. DMO will tell you.
But I would like to know the figures of the airports.
Let me also go back.
Yes.
And let you know that by the time we looked at the books and the numbers, we found that it was actually 192 billion that my predecessor handed over to me as debt.
How much did it leave for you in the coffers? How much did it leave as money on ground for you to run the states?
If you have money in the coffers, you wouldn't be owing. So
you can have money in the coffers and still owe.
No, if you net off what is left in the coffers, we had a debt profile of 192 billion.
So he left nothing?
Absolutely nothing.
He left nothing in the coffers?
Nothing. So when you say, you need to understand, I can leave 100 naira in one account, and I'm owing 100 naira
how much,
in another account.
How much is the money he left?
That's how it makes sense.
Yeah.
Because when you say how much did he leave, you are owing money and you are leaving money. Does it make sense?
It doesn't.
Okay, so what you do is you take the total assets and remove your liabilities, and you know what the net is. And I'm saying the net he left for us was 192 billion. So if you,
even more than what the DMO quoted.
yes, because DMO didn't include pension arrears, which we cleared off. They didn't include salary arrears, which we also paid. We didn't include all the parastatals that were being owed, including Oboneano Polytechnic and then the medical personnel. So those we have taken care of. And today, I can tell you the state is running very, very well. Don't bother yourself about where I'm going to find the money, because that's my own area.
So you talked about pension arrears. Part of the talking point the opposition said is they said you lied that you cleared the pension arrears. And they said you also repeated that lie by 2023 that you've not cleared any pension arrears. They said they employed some people into the state service before you came in, that you rooted most of them out, you pulled them out, and you said no, that these employments were not done properly. I mean, what do you have to say about all of these things?
Well, I have responded to them, but if you need me to respond, I will respond again. First of all, pension arrears, some of them were, we're talking of numbers of 45 to 56 months. People were not paid. So we sat down with the pensioners and we said, okay, you are being owed this much. We need to take them out. So the leadership of pensioners sat down with us for a very long period of time, and we agreed. And by Easter last year, we paid a total of about 10 billion to pensioners to clear all the arrears. So it was like you are going to pay in full and final settlement. Somebody's been owing you for 56 months. No chance that you may get it. But I said, I didn't need it. I need this money in your hands. So if you were here, or if you watched, you found that the pensioners organized a Thanksgiving service. A lot of them were very happy. But you know, the opposition, for now, is idle. And a lot of them are used, they don't have work. Okay, most of them. Those ones that are busy, they've moved on. There's something we call feeding bottle mentality. So that's what politics was about before my time in Abia. So when I came, and I said, that feeding bottle has to be taken away. So, and what does it mean? You receive federal allocation, and you share it. Oh, Rufai, 1 million. El Kanemi, 20 million. Stakeholder, 15 million. By the time you finish sharing, there's no money to work. And I said, no, people should go and find work. And that is the anger of the so-called opposition. But I have news for them. It will never reverse. Abia people are happy. Abia people are wise. So if they blackmail, you know, I was reading something, oh, people are saying they are coming to contest in 2027. That's fine, they're welcome. So if the blackmail is for me to reverse and then call them for negotiation or call them to be giving them money every month, it will not happen. They should find another work. So that's the essence of some of these. So pensions, taken off.
You've paid?
Now, there was an issue. The pensioners, the National Union of Pensioners in Abia State, they went and somehow agreed to be used by the opposition to come and deny the agreement they signed. And I said I will not discuss with them because it was a mark of dishonesty to sign an agreement and say you didn't sign. And then later you now said, oh, I signed under duress. But you agreed. But later, a respected man of God spoke about it in a church where distinguished Senator Chris Adigije I was hosting his 80th birthday. And I've had to bend over backwards. And I'm happy to sit down, not with them, but with their national body to discuss the, not pension this time, the gratuity. Because they said, oh, gratuity was also part of what was being owed. I said, okay, we can look at it. But originally, I wasn't going to discuss. So that's the issue about pension.
Okay, so that's why they're saying that you have not paid and all of that.
But everybody has been paid. And you know the interesting thing? By the 28th of every month, unfailingly, all pensioners get 100% of their pension.
Okay.
You made another point about people who were hired.
Yes.
Civil servants who were hired at the eve of the administration of my predecessor.
Yes.
Yes. I asked that they be disengaged.
Why
for
did you
good
do that?
reason.
Why?
Yeah. Now, every time you say civil service is overbloated, before my time, you placed an embargo on recruitment. You lost the election. And on the eve of your departure, you decided to hire so many people. By the time we looked at it, we found that a majority of them, I will shock you, you'll be shocked if I tell you the percentage, come from a particular local government.
Obiangwa?
That is very wrong. So, and I said, first of all, the embargo on employment had not been lifted. So the employment was irregular. It was a trap. And you can't set a trap for me, and I know that you set a trap, and I fall into it. So, and if you had not been on the payroll prior to the time we came into office, you need to leave and go and apply anytime the embargo was lifted. So that was wrong. And I'm sure if you were in my shoes, you would do the same.
But what about the people that make the argument, there's unemployment in the land and all of that? And secondly, the case of the multi-purpose specialist hospital that they said, no, was abandoned. We need to stay part of their talking point. And afterwards, I want us to shift and now talk some national politics, You want to respond to those arguments that say,
Which one is national politics?
No, we have to talk national politics. There's no how you come here. Should I start?
I don't talk politics.
You don't talk politics?
I'm not a politician.
Okay, you're not a politician, it's fine. But you know a certain individual called Abure.
Oh, yes, I know. Is he part of your national politics?
Oh, yes, national politics, National Labour Party politics.
Okay.
There's a contestation,
Okay, so
and they're mentioning your name. They said,
really?
you are the dramatis personae. If you hear the
do I
likes
want
of
to be governor
Arabam,
and chairman at the
no,
same time?
if you hear the likes of Arabami and everything, they said, no, you are the ones, you and your very good friend Peter Obi are the ones trying to take over the reins of the party. And the Abure faction said, they're not having it from you. And they don't want to have it from you. But let's talk about, the specialist hospital scenario first. And afterwards, the argument people make as regards, these people are poor, they finally got a job in government, and you said no. So can you tap out justice with mercy, and things like that?
No, that's why I said they should apply whenever the embargo is lifted. Is it not fair?
Okay.
Yeah, so if you were in my shoes, somebody sets a landmine for you, you want to go and fall into it.
Okay.
You have a huge, you are paying some 65,000 people. That's the population of civil servants in Abia. 65,000. And then somebody maybe puts a few more thousand for you. It wasn't in good faith. But it's gone. So at the appropriate time, and I'm sure that those of them who are forward-looking would have found something else to do. And of course, the interesting thing we are doing here is to create an enabling environment for businesses to thrive. Our people are very entrepreneurial. Okay, so quite unlike some of us who want to be given money. Majority of our people don't want to be given money. They want you to create the enabling environment for their businesses to thrive. And once you fix the roads, you clean the environment, you provide good schools for their children to go to, you have good hospitals they can go to. Don't care about government.
Specialist hospital.
Specialist hospital. Now, the specialist hospital was not abandoned. In fact, it's actually working. What we did was to convert it to a general hospital because it's in Aba. You have the Abia State University Teaching Hospital, which in itself functions as a specialist hospital, also in Aba. So you don't need to set up another specialist hospital in Aba. So what happened before my time is that the Abia State University Teaching Hospital lost accreditation in 2021. And the reason for that was that my predecessors abandoned the university. It's the Medical and Dental Council of Nigeria came back in 2022 and reaffirmed the loss of accreditation. So when we came up in 2023, I gave my people 6 months to fix that teaching hospital, get the necessary personnel, and ensure that the accreditation was restored. To the glory of God, in December 2023, in fact, it was dramatic when the registrar of the Medical and Dental Council of Nigeria came here. He said by the time he got to the teaching hospital, he was almost missing his way. And he thought the driver was taking him somewhere else. And so the accreditation was restored in 2023. So everything that you require in the teaching hospital is there right now. So we felt that instead of maintaining, because that hospital was Aba General Hospital that was converted to
Specialist hospital.
The specialist hospital. We thought it was not necessary. With the Abia State University Teaching Hospital, just a few poles from it. So it wasn't a good decision in our judgment. So the general hospital is working very, very well, just like the other 21 general hospitals. But a lot of them are in different states of dilapidation. So we have taken about 7 of them in the first instance, fixing them, retrofitting them. By the time we are done with that, we will take another 7 and then the final 7. Having said that, we also do have a general hospital in Amachara, Omoahia, that we actually want to function with the diagnostic center as a specialist hospital. And of course, there is one in Omonato, in Bende. What's the idea? The idea is to have specialist hospitals in every senatorial zone of the state. So you have the one in Amachara covering the central, you have the one in Bende covering the north, and of course you have the Abia State University Teaching Hospital in Aba covering the Aba senatorial zone, the Abia South senatorial zone. So that's what we have done with that. So it's not any abandonment of any sort.
Okay, good. Now, national politics. Abure, what are you doing to that ban?
Okay, so I'm not doing anything to Abure. I have said it time and time. Abure worked very well with me, and as far as I'm concerned, he's still my friend. But I tell friends the truth. So it was in 2023. So he came to me to say that in the next year, a convention will be done. I said, okay, that's fine. 2024, he came and said he wanted to do the convention in Omoahia. I was happy. But later, he said, oh, that he wants to move it to Oka. I asked why. He said, oh, there are a lot of people, you know some stories. I said, okay, that's fine. Then later he came again to say it should be Newi. I asked the question. I said, who will be the delegates for this convention? Because if my understanding of how political parties are organized is correct, you organize congresses at the lowest level and then get all the way to national convention. So you have the world congresses, you have the local government congresses, you have the state congresses, the zonal congresses, the southeast, south, and then now delegates from there will now go for national convention. He said, oh no, that they have a different way of doing it in the Labour Party. I said, okay, so I supported them. They went for the convention. And thereafter, a lot of issues started coming up. Then I now realized that INEC had removed his name as the national chairman of the party, and I called his attention to it. So he said, oh, maybe it's a mistake. I said, okay. So I made my inquiries with INEC, and they said his tenure had expired. And I called him, and I said, this is what I find from INEC, that your tenure has expired. He said, it's not true. Now he went for a meeting that he was not invited, a meeting of all the political parties. He was not allowed in. I'm sure you must have seen it in the media. I called him. I said, this is not good. What is the issue? So my inquiry said that he had an agreement with NLC and TUC. In 2022, it was a consent judgment where he said that he will organize an all-inclusive convention starting from congresses the next year being 2023. In 2023, that he also sat with them and said, we just finished a presidential election. Our presidential candidate is in court. Can we take one more year before this convention? They are all agreed. Now, this information came from INEC, not from him. So I called him again, and I said, this is what I got from INEC. He said he would give me a file. So he sent me a file. Maybe he didn't think I would read the file. I read. So I read everything in the file. And I called him. I said, Mr. Abure, the file you gave me agrees with what INEC said. So, in that case, this convention you did in Nnewi that I was not comfortable with has not been recognized by INEC. Did INEC come? He said it did come. I said, then you can't have a convention. So let's do it right so that our party doesn't get deregistered. This is the party that brought me to power. So, and I said, you know what? As we speak, and even as we speak now, I don't have a candidate for national chairman. If I'm asked to produce a national chairman, I'll still produce you. You've done one term. Why don't you, let's do it well. Present yourself again, if you want to. But I have a problem. If I've spoken to 10 people in this party, 9 people don't want you, that means there's something wrong. Why do you want to lead people who don't want you to lead them? You know what? If you want to be the BOT chairman, I can speak to the leaders of the party. I'm not the only leader. P2B is there, the vice presidential, that is there. I can speak to them so that we can give you the BOT chairman of the party. He said, okay, he will meet with his National Working Committee. That was the last meeting we had, and that was 2024. The next thing they went to court, and you know, the rest is now history. Now, Supreme Court has delivered judgment de-recognizing him. And it will be interesting for you to read the Supreme Court judgment, and I'll send it to you. At least, even if you don't have time to read the 48-page document, read from page 46 to the last. You see that Supreme Court said that both the Federal High Court and the Court of Appeal were wrong to recognize him as the chairman of the party, and reversed that judgment and said that the appeal stands. Now, who was the appellant? Senator Esther Nenadi Osman and Senator Darlington Wokoja, the chairman and secretary of the caretaker committee. So that's where we are. So I don't have any problem with Abu. Supreme Court has said, you are no longer chairman. And the man is saying he is still the chairman.
But this,
something must be wrong.
So, but this conundrum, a lot of people have said, can lead to the destruction of your party. Some people argue that your party is gone. With all of this, are you planning on decamping at some point? Because as Delta just left, other governors are leaving. Governor Fubara, suspended Governor Fubara, went to have a meeting with President Tinubu. And it looks like your party is on shaky ground. And like, Senator Ifeanyi Okowa, former governor of Delta, did say today, said they want to be close to the center. Your state is one leg in the center. You know, the speaker, the deputy speaker of the House of Reps happens to be from your state. So that's a great privilege. And he too has been saying that we are going to, consolidate on the state and push you out. So is it not just time for you to align with the APC, or are you going to do it anytime soon?
Okay, so I take your advice.
So you are decamping.
I take
So
your advice.
we can say it's exclusive that Governor Otti is making the moves to the
Governor
APC.
Otti is not decamping. And
Why?
my party is not on shaky ground.
Why?
Well, I've told you this.
The argument some other politicians make is they say lone man. You want to be close to the center.
Don't worry. I'm being close to the center. I'm even closer to the center than some of them.
But you're not in APC. You can't be as closer than Delta.
Everybody must not be in APC. This is democracy. And President Bola Ahmed Tinubu held on to his AD, AC, ACN before becoming APC. If he was, he wouldn't be president today. Sometimes you have to also stand for something.
Will you ever leave Labour?
I am not God.
So you might leave.
I cannot say if there's no Labour tomorrow. So you have already predicted for the party.
So you might leave. That's what I say. You say you're not God.
Elsewhere
because some people swore that they were never going to leave APGA, but they left APGA.
Who did?
I mean, people move around political parties a lot.
Of course.
So are you going to say you are never going to leave Labour?
Let me tell you. I was in PDP.
Okay.
And then from PDP, I went to APGA.
So you've been moving around a lot.
I went to APC. I've been in APC.
So you've moved around a lot.
So
that means you might just
not the issue.
You might just continue in that line.
That is not the issue.
You might go back home.
That is not the issue. The issue is that the party that brought me to power is Labour. Okay? And today we have fought and retrieved the Labour. So, and I said I will send you the Supreme Court judgment. So when you finish reading it, you will know that Abure is just masturbating.
Really?
Yes, it's not. He's out. There is. So you can declare yourself. You can declare yourself the president of Nigeria today. You can.
That means.
Does that mean Rufai is now the president?
No, but that means his masturbations are of epic proportion because his masturbations are causing gyrations in the Labour Party as we speak.
Okay, you need to mind your language now.
No, it's because everybody looks at it that all is not well,
you see
and they are also governor, sir, they are also pointing at opposition dismembering political parties, like it's happening with the APC, with the PDP now, and they're also looking like as the Labour Party. So that's why you can call it masturbations, but these gyrations are getting into the fabric of the foundation of the party, and a lot of people are arguing that would there even be Labour Party in 2027?
Okay, so they are not God. You are just what you are, just your human intelligence and analysis.
Just like I'm not God to know if you are still going to leave Labour Party at some point.
Exactly, and I'm not God to also say that I will remain in Labour Party or leave Labour Party.
Okay.
But as we speak, the objective conditions today do not make it for me to leave Labour Party. There is tomorrow anything can change, and I've told you.
Okay.
And I'm very pragmatic, and I look at things, and of course, if I'm going to take any decision, that decision is going to be taken in full consultation with Abia people. Those are the people who are.
Oh, that's the word you politicians say. You always say you do it for the people.
No.
It's your decision.
I told you I wasn't a politician. Maybe you are the one that's a politician now. We are not politicking. No, we must, because the truth about it is that it's Abia people through God that brought me here. So there's nobody is more important than Abia people and God. So and wherever God wants me to be, but it must be a right move. So it will not be by blackmail. It will not be because other people are. So you see people are jumping into the lagoon, you jump. Or you see people trying to face the trailer, you face the trailer. No, you must take your decisions based on objective conditions. And it's not, I'm not going to. So all the people that you mentioned, is okay. I'm sure there are clear arguments that they have. And I always find it difficult to discuss people because when you are not in their condition, you are not in their situation. So there are things they may know that you do not know. But as we speak today, we have retrieved the Labour Party. The National caretaker committee is in charge now, and they will organize congresses, ward, local government, like I told you, all the way to national convention, so that we get leadership.
When are those congresses going to happen?
Before the end of the year.
Before
They already have a timetable.
Okay. I'd like to ask you this. Has President Tinubu done well economically?
Okay, so this is one question I may not be able to answer. Why?
Why?
Because I have access to him. So I can always discuss with him. So it would be unfair for me to come in front of the cameras and be assessing him. And today is just 23 months into the administration. It's still early days.
Did you call President Tinubu and told him it was unfair when he declared a state of emergency in Rivers?
No, I don't. You are also going to an area that I said I will not discuss. And that area is, I won't discuss.
But it's not fair.
I won't discuss.
Okay.
Listen so that you hear me. I won't discuss people. I won't discuss other states. I won't discuss the federal government.
But when you look at it, a lot of the PDP governors filed a case against the state of emergency, which was to defend integrity. Because you see, you say you won't discuss people, but let me put it in a principal context for you. As you are seated here with the gyrations from the opposition you are facing, if somebody says the solution is declaring a state of emergency in your state, cause 1 or 2 skirmishes, and suspend you, you will say that's an aberration, isn't it? So what happens in Rivers? So what happened in Rivers?
It's possible because it has happened somewhere else.
So what happened in Rivers is an aberration, right?
It can happen.
No, what happened in Rivers is an aberration?
Let me tell you one thing. I was watching the Speaker of the House of Representatives in the U.S. when he was talking about Trump. I don't know if you saw that video. Yeah. And I looked at it. I said, okay, so this is a Republican that was on the same ballot with Trump. So, and he's saying it's an aberration what Trump signed. He said we can, natural gas, we can't even export. Wait. So aberrations do happen. What is important is how you respond to it. And your response to it, I have my private opinion, which I have shared.
What's your opinion about it?
No, it's private to me. I will share it with you. But it will be impolitic for me. In fact, I may completely mess up the situation if I make some comments that I shouldn't make. So I can go to the president to say, this is my opinion about this.
No, but
I don't need to come to you and say this is my opinion.
With due respect, Governor, I was talking to Governor Dowd a couple of weeks ago, and I asked him this question, and I said, do you condemn the state of emergency in Rivers? I know his answer, but I'm asking you now, do you condemn the state of emergency in Rivers? He told me, I condemn it, and that's why we're going to court. So I'm asking you.
So he has gone to court. The matter is now sub judice.
So I'm asking.
So why are you asking me?
No, I'm asking you.
No.
You were not joined in the case, so
yes,
this is a
but
different
I'm in
one.
Nigeria.
No, this is a different one.
So the matter is in court.
So
it will be decided by the court.
So I'm asking you, do you condemn the state of emergency that happened in Rivers?
Did you read anything from me condemning it?
No, I'm asking you.
No, I have not.
So you don't want to share public opinion about it?
But as a body, we as Governors Forum are looking at it.
What do you mean we? I'm asking you for your own personal opinion.
My own opinion,
Governor Otti.
my own opinion is my opinion. You cannot force it out of me.
Okay, I concede. But generally speaking, at a democracy like this, people look and say, state of emergencies. Is it a good one?
You are still going back to the same
No, I'm asking you. Is it a good one, yes or no?
Privately speaking,
yes.
I've made my opinion, I've put my opinion together, and my colleagues know my position. I have not seen the president. When I see the president, I will also share. I see the president from time to time, and I share my opinion.
So you will just you give us a global response, and you will share your private opinion with the president.
My private opinion is what is most important.
Do you also share that private opinion when you see an uptick in inflation, despite, I mean, I was just at the IMF spring meetings, and the numbers were not good. An uptick in inflation despite rebasing.
Despite what?
The fact that we rebased, the inflation calculation parameters.
Yes.
And there's an uptick again, 24%. The numbers are gloomy. They're saying over a couple of years, inflation might go up 37%. And you guys sit in the economic meeting with the president. Do you ever get to tell him and say, Mr. President, we're sinking, we're going under?
Did you start sinking today? It did start sinking today.
So,
you have been sinking.
So is it not worth telling him?
In denial.
So is it not worth telling him?
No. I mean, when we go for meetings.
Oh, living in denial. So you support the subsidy removal, right?
Of course.
You support the flotation of the naira.
Subsidy removal was long overdue. And what was happening? What was happening is that big men like you and I, we are the ones.
Your Excellency, I'm not a big man.
You're a big man. You live in VI. For you to live in VI, you're a big man.
So,
in fact, I'm even afraid of you. When I heard that you live in VI, in Lagos, I used to stay in Lekki. I couldn't afford VI.
At least you own I don't own a home in VI.
Well, we have to find out whether you own. Even being a tenant, to have mind to be a tenant in VI, that means that you are not a big man.
I'm a tenant, Your Excellency.
No, but the point is this.
Yes.
There are a lot of things that we should have done. My interventions in this day.
I read
written extensively about this subsidy. So it was a scam. We just needed to do something.
Also floating the naira?
Sorry?
Also floating the naira too?
Floating the naira, I've also written about it. But you see, I think what happened was that the two things happened about the same time.
Which was not a good one.
But then, over time, I believe that this economy, if we keep at it, the economy would rebound. Oh, now, are you surprised that inflation at 24%? What's the interest rate?
Well, it's super high. Going up to 30% for some businesses.
It goes with interest rate. So if it will keep chasing you, no matter how much you rebase. So that's what it is.
But the hardship on people, the fact that their naira is not worth anything
very
again,
unfortunate.
and you feel that in your state. Do you tell that to the president sometimes?
It's very unfortunate.
But see,
some of the sacrifices must be made. If you don't make them today, you'll make them tomorrow. Or the economy will go up in flames.
But Mr. Governor, saying it's very unfortunate does not put food on the table of a hungry person. And people will die of hunger, and people are dying.
And saying it is fortunate will also not put food on the table. So you need to do something about it. We're just talking. We need to do something about it.
So what are you doing about it?
One of the things that we are doing is to ensure that we create an environment where productivity will happen. Part of the problem with the exchange rate is because we are not producing much. It's because we are not exporting anything other than oil. It's because we are importing everything from the profane to the profound. We import toothpicks. We import bottled water. Should we be doing that? So that puts a lot of pressure on the foreign exchange market. And until we reverse that, until we produce, do you know how much we spend importing food? Palm oil that Malaysians took from here in Umuahia. We are now buying from them. So these are things that need to be done.
So what are you doing as regards agriculture? If they took the palm oil out from Umuahia, and you are saying Malaysians are bringing it, but I thought you would have jumpstart the palm kernel revolution again.
Are doing
so how many tonnage are you producing now?
It's still early days.
Early days?
It's still early days.
But people are hungry.
Oh yeah, you have to. I say, so if you're asking how many tonnage, it's early days, because we just came.
Okay.
In Okwa, we have a multinational company that is partnering with us to remove the old trees and replant them. In rubber, in cocoa, we are in rice. In fact, today we are producing rice in Owerenta. So, but it's still early days. So it's not time to blow the trumpet, because we need quite a lot of time.
Governor Otti, make me understand this. Your IGR in a month is, and your federal allocation in a month is how much? Small amount. But you're doing so many things. You want to build an airport, counterpart funding, you're producing this, you're producing that, you're clearing the debt. I mean, How are you doing it? You said it's a trade secret earlier on, but people like to know this trade secret. Maybe other governors
Will you pay?
can use it. I mean, because...
No, okay, so the first thing is prudence.
Okay.
Prudence. Okay, so one of the easiest things for me to do would have been to start building a new government house. It's not like it's very comfortable. But I know that if I use the money to put into dealing with maybe the road, I will empower a whole lot of people who ordinarily didn't have access. So you have prudence, then you have economies of scale. What is most important? You need to sit down. As a student of economics, I have my priorities listed. So, and I know that if the man in Ariara market cannot get to the market, he cannot add to my GDP. So, he cannot add to my internally generated revenue. I know that if the woman in Bende cannot access her farm, then she's not going to be useful, not to her family or to the government. I know that if I am sick and I cannot get attention from the primary health care center, then I will be useless to the economy. And that's why when we came, we looked at the 948 primary health care centers in Abia. We went around. All of them were in a mess. And we said, okay, we'll put some 8-9 billion in the budget for renovating 200 primary health care centers in 100 days. That is happening now. By next month, it will be 100 days, and 200 primary health centers will be delivered. We will take another 200 after this one, until we get the 948. We looked at the schools. We found that a lot of our children no longer want to go to school. You see them early in the morning, hawking banana and granite, kara and all that. So I was embarrassed because I grew up here. And my parents were not rich, but I went to school. And I knew that if these children would not go to school, then they wouldn't have the opportunity that I had. And I said, okay. I wasn't even too sure what the problem was, whether it was the school fees or they just didn't want to, they wanted to make money. So, and I set up a task force. I said, first of all, I said, let's know how much do we make from school fees. Go back to 2023. Go back to 2022. The numbers were almost the same. And it was nothing. I said, if I take away the school fees, would it be an incentive for these children to go back to school? I'm not sure. I said, okay, I'll take away the school fees, but I'll set up a task force to force those.
So, Abia has some free education now?
Of course. I said, I will force those that don't want to go to school. Do you know what happened? I set up the task force. And I made an announcement. I said, anybody that will see of school age that was not in school, we are going to arrest him. Not because we wanted to keep him. We want the parents to come so that we can exchange them with their parents. We've not got one person. In fact, the task force that we set up is now going around to ensure compliance, that there is no school where school fees are charged and that teachers are teaching. So I looked at the explosion when the announcement was made in terms of enrollment was so much. And we found that we didn't have teachers. And what did we do? We now said, okay, you know what? There are a lot of people. We are talking of civil servants and all that. I said, a lot of people don't have jobs. If you are qualified, we opened up a portal. Please apply. We went to hire 5,000 teachers. And in 1 week, we got 17,000 applications. The second week, it climbed to 30-something thousand. And we shut the portal. We now tested them, and today, 4,600 have been hired. We want to take another 4,000 so that we can fit them into those schools. We are renovating all the schools. Okay? So that's what it is. It's not rocket science.
So
it's just about being prudent, being deliberate, having a plan.
Yeah.
What do you want to do? And keep it to it. Of course, there's another part of it that's very, very important. The people that you are working with. I don't care where you come from. I'm sure you may have heard that my head of service is from Edo State. I sit down and interview them. And when I interviewed them, and I found he was number one. I went to the head of service.
Okay. So what's the primary school enrollment rate now, uptake, since this new scheme started in Abia?
I don't even, it's been crazy. I don't even, I've lost count of the numbers. People are just streaming. Again, what I also found is that a lot of people are leaving the private schools to come to public schools. Because, of course, you have the good quality, you have good teachers, we are renovating the place. And I called the commissioner for education, and I said, we need to now think of what to do to the very serious private school operators. Because we also don't want them to be, they also contribute to the economy. How are we going to maybe support the students? So these are some of the things. And then in terms of healthcare, I mean, that's before the end of the month of May, we believe that the president will come to commission that Port Harcourt road that we will soon see. But there's something else we are doing with healthcare. As soon as we came in, as part of our manifesto, we had promised that we would reverse medical tourism from India. You know the number. Over $2 billion every year.
Yeah.
So we said we've set up a medical village. And we've been working on it for almost 2 years now. And to the glory of God, by about the 23rd of May, we are going to...
How much did that cost you?
Okay, so it's not going to cost me any money. It's going to cost $1.3 billion. The money is coming from elsewhere.
Okay.
Yeah, and our partners are bringing the money. They will build, they will manage, they will operate.
And transfer. Who are your partners?
MKP Global.
Okay.
And they've done something like that in Singapore.
Okay. So where's it going to be located?
Sorry?
Where's it going to be located?
It's going to be located in Abia. You passed the site as you were coming from the airport.
So 23rd of May is going to be the groundbreaking?
Yeah.
Of it.
Will you come?
Okay, I mean, I'll take the chance if I'm around. I mean, as we wrap up, let's talk about the legacy of Dr. Pascal Dozier. Because I know...
The legacy of...
Dr. Pascal Dozier.
Oh, okay.
Because this was somebody dear to you, and he's going to start his journey home very soon, and he passed at the ripe age of 85.
Yes, well, I'd done my condolence, and I'd also spoken to the first son who succeeded me in Diamond Bank. He was a good man. He actually did it best. Unfortunately, which I think is the reason why he departed this quickly. His major strength was Auntie Chi, the wife, who is also sick. In fact, the last time I saw him, he was lamenting how Auntie does not even recognize anybody who cannot offer help. So I believe that that was part of why he left. But he did his best. He was part of the people that set up MTN. He was the pioneer chairman of MTN. And of course, Diamond Bank and a whole lot of other businesses that he set up. We thank God for his life. At 85, we would have loved that he would stay longer. But he tried. Just like the Pope, so that was another good man. And unfortunately, another very good man that passed on last night that has not been announced. But that one was hit me personally because supporting Anaba brought up the force. He was also very close to Pascal. So the burial arrangements are already being put together. And we'll be here to ensure that we give him a befitting burial in the evening. I believe that should be in a few days from now.
If there's one word in your mind for the people of your state, and you can speak to them now, what would that be?
Well, when we came, we knew our people were struggling. They were weeping. And our mantra was, weep no more, help is on the way. Exactly 23 months after, because today is the 29th of April, 2025. I think help has come. And I believe that they should keep up with the positive disposition. The 23 months out of 48 is less than 50%. So there's still a whole lot that we have in stock to do. And by the grace of God, we are going to deliver on every promise we made them. Like you said, the opposition keeps making noise, but that is what they should do. Sometimes we also read and hear what they say. Anyone that makes sense, we put it on board. Nobody has a monopoly of knowledge. But of course, if it is based on criticism for criticism's sake, if it is based on promoting alternative agenda, if it is based on fiction, not facts, we don't pay attention. The state is in the right hands. The state is moving in the right direction. We also appreciate that they are very happy with where we are now. So they should remain focused. No one should listen to stories, because you can feel it yourself. So, and I also like to thank you for finding time
Thank you.
to be with us in Abia here. And we hope you come again and again and again.
Thank you. Thank you so much. That's about all we can take with the governor of Abia State, Governor Alex Otti. It's been a very interesting conversation. He's touched on many areas, responses to words said about him and criticisms about him. Also, we talked some national politics, Labour Party politics, and ended with giving a befitting tribute to Dr. Pascal. That's about all we can take today. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you. Thank you.